Riverhaven Books hosted a workshop last weekend at the Beale House in Kingston for both new and published authors. Experienced writers shared their views about the pros and cons of the various ways writers can put their stories into the hands of readers. PCN stopped in to find out more.
We have people here today for the workshop who have never written anything other than a school assignment, all the way up through some published authors who have decided to enhance their craft in one way or another. So our panel includes 4 published authors, which is great, and they've done everything from self-published to Random House, and then our attendees are at all various stages of the writing process.
As you are writing, more things start to sift in, and introduce themselves so that you have a more in-depth novel.
I'm a romantic suspense writer. I have a book called Saving Gemma, published with the Wild Rose Press, and I'm here to get some more writing tips and to keep learning as a writer. And I'm particularly interested in the social media class because that's something I always avoid. So I'm trying to get myself up to speed there.
Once I realized that you could have as much fun writing a book as you could reading it, I said, well, gosh, there's no rules at all here. It reminded me of my upbringing as a fine artist, where the sky is the limit. It's just your imagination, and then you get to sign your name to it at the end. And it's like, well, this is a pretty similar kind of experience. And so I allowed myself to just write whatever I wanted, and I didn't worry about if anybody liked it, because I wasn't really intending on getting published, because my goal at the time was to write the terrible American novel, and I figured that would never really see the light of day anyway.
Honestly, I think I probably, like most writers, have a pretty good imagination, but sometimes all it takes for me is being out in a place like Martha's Vineyard. I literally went out, rented a car, drove all around the center of the island, became acquainted with the indigenous plants and the land, the lay of the land, just loved it. And I came home, I knew already kind of what it was going to be about, but I filled in all the gaps by going out there. Just the ideas start flowing in.
But I was very quickly picked up by mainly Murder Press, which is an indie press, an independent press, a niche press like Poison Pen Press. They publish mysteries. And when I first saw the call for submissions, the author was looking for New England writers writing mysteries set in New England, and my little name was all over that. So I wrote to her, and 3 weeks later I had a contract.
I actually do a mix. I self-publish a great deal of my work because I love having control over it. I love getting it out right away. When you go through a publisher, you wait sometimes years, literally. I have one book that's out through mainly Murder Press, which is Judy's Press also. I have another book coming out through a Canadian publisher that's a young adult novel, first young adult I've ever done. But mostly I write romantic suspense fiction.
I just think that it's really important that if you have something that you want to write about, that you feel free to do that. It's so important, and you never know who you're going to touch with what you write and what you have to say. So it's a great thing to do.